He's so kind. I think that kindness for me just stood out. It's the kindness of the soul.
She could be pushy, she could be very challenging, she could push you to your limits. She can make you angry.
I'm asking him, kama hujajipanga, so this is what you do. There's no way I'm sleeping at home today. I'm telling you, see, let's end home.
I wish I knew that her ex, we could attend the same church.
He said, I love you fast, babe. We don't remember.
I can't remember.
The very first time we met, I looked at him. It was in the dark, pale archives, pale round table thing, and I really liked what I saw. I liked how he looked. He looked really good in my eyes. So at that time, I got butterflies, but now I look at him every day and no butterflies.
She had this charisma of being energetic. I really liked that about her. She has this energy of just moving things, and she's very daring. That really moved me about her.
We met online. We had an interview. It was during the COVID period. We had an interview for a certain company that was recruiting, and then we couldn't attend the interviews. So there was an interview. It was done, I think it was at around 8 p.m. So he saw me there, and then he sent me an email the following day. I didn't even know that I was not even looking appealing. There's nothing. I was so confused in the interview. I didn't know what was supposed to happen. And the other people who are being interviewed seemed to have it together, apart from me. So I kept asking a lot of questions, and I kept missing out on a lot of things. And then the internet was not stable. So it was really a bad time.
I think she was the only Kenyan lady like I saw on that Zoom meeting. And it kind of moved me. And in the state I actually thought to myself that we are Kenyans and I could reach to her. That was my first initial intention towards her. And I remember the next day I had to text because the names were appearing on the Zoom. So obviously the email appeared, and I used that to reach to her, just trying to see what could pop up or anything that could happen.
The following day, I received an email from this man who is saying hi. I really liked it. The email part, it was different.
She had ambition. I think it's something that I really lacked in my life. For all the ladies that I dated, no one ever thrilled me to move to that dimension. And she wanted things to happen. I think she moved me from a world of, I was really passive because I'm an introvert, and it happened that she wanted me to just be the man.
I just come out from a roller coaster. My love life was not intact. You're in a space where you feel like men are really, really bad, you know? And then you meet somebody, and he's so kind. I think that kindness for me, he just stood out. He was really, really kind, and it's not the kindness we describe as giving things or something. It's the kindness of the soul, which is felt. You can feel this is a kind person. That really drove me to settling with this person. We got it for less than a year, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it was roughly like, was it 6 months?
Actually, we met like in July, and then in October, I got a job in Meru. So we just did it for that like a month.
Yeah,
then
that period.
From October till we got married, we were just doing conversations over the phone. Yeah, that's all.
And
Because
it was a really tough times. I remember
it-
a long distance
it
kind of
took quite
relationship.
like a month because of my past life. When I told myself and I advised myself that if I got into a relationship, I would not date for long because I felt, oh, you know, people say you need to know a person, stay with a person. But I think I came out of that because of my past relationships. I realized let's not really waste time because you can waste time. You won't know me enough, or you can know me enough and leave me.
Absolutely.
Let's just do this thing.
On weekends, she will come, just bond together.
Yeah,
It was,
try to
yeah,
travel.
it could easen up things, eh?
Yeah, I
Because,
tried to travel
yeah,
when I could.
yeah.
I would come. When
Yeah.
he could, he would come. Who said I love you first, babe? We don't remember.
I can't remember. But what I can say is that I think on that courtship times, we, no one declared love for each other, for
When you were
one another.
courting?
Yeah, when we were courting. I think it was later
I think,
on.
yeah,
Yeah, it
I
was
think it
later
was
on.
later than we
Later on,
realized,
we
okay.
realized, oh my God, here we are. Oh, okay, things are moving.
Yeah.
It's been like 6 months. Oh, now, then I realized that
Also,
she was
this
meant
must
to
be
be.
love.
This must be.
This must be love.
This must be love.
We did have a proposal.
Oh.
When we were planning, because we just decided earlier on, we were just seated in the living room. He said, let's plan our wedding. I said, okay, fine, let's plan our wedding. Because as he said, I really like to see things moving. So let's fix a date. So we fixed a date. We said October. One night he comes home and he says, babe, we're already planning our wedding. Do you really need me to say, will you marry me? Honestly, it made sense. No, it's something we've been conditioned to expect. That we're already planning a wedding. Do I really need?
Yeah.
Do I really need him to say, "Will you marry me again?" Because I'm already marrying you.
I wasn't exposed to where you can kneel and propose. I was in another world, loving her. It came with trust, with time. Yeah, because from my past life, I didn't receive that much. So I was in another world where I never believed this could work or anything. But she made me believe, and I really appreciate her in my life so much because of that.
I am an over communicator, if there is such a word. I will force you to talk. You will not go. You will. You know, there are people who. When they like, and he was like that. He didn't like conversation. He just wants things to easen themselves up. And I'm the opposite, complete opposite. I want to communicate. I want to solve the issue from the grassroots. And the first time was really difficult, but I think he's learned. I found my husband very, very raw. He used to keep quiet every time we have maybe a conflict, a confrontation. He wants to keep his peace. He calls it. He wants to keep. And I'm telling him, "Akuna peace. Akuna peace. You have to talk. We have to talk about this issue." I don't. If we don't have communication, we don't have anything. So I used to threaten him. If you don't talk to me about it, I'm going to tell your mother. I'm going to tell my friends. I'm going to tell everybody in the streets. So you have to talk to me. I talk to everybody on the streets unless you talk to me. And he's a very private person. He doesn't like his issues out there. So he was forced to talk.
I came to adapt with her style of sorting conflicts, and we kind of made an oath together that we can't sleep if we have a problem hanging.
Yeah.
So we have to sort it first before sleeping, because
there's no going
in that
to bed
bed
with issues.
there will be tension. You can't even have insomnia because just tension that you might have. So whenever we manage to sort our problem, wow, even when sleeping you are always at peace. And for me, I cherish peace of mind. It's very important for me. It's what keeps me moving. And I always try to teach her to always think like a man first before reacting, and I'll always reflect to do the same. Always, before doing anything, I would think before I confront her. We might have issues. Issues are there always, but make sure that I understand her. How she expresses herself, it's very important. And I have to understand, listen, whatever that she expresses.
We set dates for the traditional wedding. We set dates for the white wedding.
I remember even at some point, I suggested this wedding money, if we could even invest and let us do a business with it. When she was walking the aisle and just slowly and slowly, I realized, okay, Marlon, this is another thing.
The vows, I laughed. I remember laughing.
She'll ask something, she'll need an answer. She'll demand an answer.
If I can just say,
you
when
can't
I was
even...
growing up, I always wanted to be a judge. I came back and I told my husband. Now I started relaying pressure because I wanted this thing so badly. You know, this is something I have dreamed about for a long time. I didn't want mainstream food. You know how we have njahe, sijui nini. Sikuwa nataka hizo vitu. Mimi nilikuwa nataka vitu fantastic.
Yeah.
I talked with him and we actually got into many fights planning that wedding because the things I wanted did not fit our pocket then.
Absolutely.
But I really wanted them.
I remember even at some point, I suggested this wedding money, if we could even invest and let us do a business with it, rather than waste it on white wedding when we had already done a traditional wedding. We are already recognized as we are already married. We can even go to the AG and declare. She insisted.
Yeah.
And it actually, it happened.
It worked, eventually.
Dear beloved, we are gathered here in the sight of God and in the face of this congregation to join together this man and this woman.
The highlight of the wedding was the wedding vows. My husband is so shy in front of people, so he was so nervous. He was a nervous wreck. He couldn't say English words correctly. He couldn't. Every time he has to say things in front of people, it's like the brain just shuts down. The vows, I laughed. I remember laughing.
I do solemnly declare.
I do solemnly declare.
Please add some volume to his sound.
I think it was one of Most my nervous times ever.
I do solemnly declare that I know not of, that I may not know.
I couldn't express myself well. I was
He
sweating.
was sweating.
Oh my God, it was really hard.
That was the highlight. That was the highlight of the wedding. For me, I laughed. I'm telling you. Crazy.
For me, I guess it was when she was walking the aisle. I realized, oh my God, it's happening. I just realized this is happening to you, Marlon. You're marrying. When she was walking the aisle and just slowly and slowly, oh my God, I realized, okay, Marlon, this is another thing. You're no longer Marlon that you used to be. You're getting to be someone else.
Husband. My expectations after marriage, I expected that we would come together and be one powerful force conquering the world, you know. I expected that we would join our minds together and be one great thing that people are supposed to look at. Because I expected like we would be one dynamic duo.
For me, it wasn't even having kids. What I expected most from this marriage was just to have someone who you can always come to home and you can find and you can talk to. Like having a friend, a forever friend. That's was my expectation, and it has been. And to date, I still enjoy conversing to her, and I feel like my expectation was met.
It's really nice to have a partner who can, you know, is like shield you from all these things which are happening in the world. You see, when I go home, everything seems like it has stopped. There is no one who is barking in your ears, no more bosses, no nothing. You don't have to think about many things. I think up to that level, it has been met.
During our wedding, we never planned for our honeymoon.
And actually, we were having this conversation while we were seated. You know, things are going on, the MC is talking, people are giving gifts, so we're having this conversation while we're seated. So, unataka kunipeleka wapi?
Yeah.
Umejipanga, no, like, umejipanga honeymoon. And I'm babe, he's he doesn't know how to say. He says, babe, we're chill, ngoja. Utajamali utanipeleka. So this is what we do. There's no way I'm sleeping at home today. I'm telling you, see, let's end home.
We were planning to have a honeymoon after maybe that holiday period, something like that.
In January.
In January. And it happened that during the wedding, after we had done the wedding, her boss actually came and asked if where are we going.
He called us and he said that he had paid for 4 nights at Thika Greens.
Yeah, Thika Greens.
And he also paid for, so we had the after party.
After party.
At Thika Greens.
At Thika Greens.
And yeah, and we stayed there for 4 days. For 4 days.
Nice.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
It was nice.
But it surprised us. I remember even as I was to get back on Tuesday, but I didn't work on that Tuesday. So I had to make a call, and I think they understood my situation.
My husband is a pathological liar.
If you know you can't tolerate someone, then I wouldn't advise someone to get into a marriage.
He's always the first one to go low and say, you know what, I'm sorry, forgive me.
I'm creating a kingdom, and in this kingdom, I'm having a wife as my queen,
Marriage is like a school. You're taught a new lesson every day. I look forward to another year and another with you. He's high. He's always the first one to go low and say, you know what, I'm sorry, forgive me. He always chooses peace, always. So no matter what, no matter how agitated I am, no matter how packed I am, he'll just choose peace at the end of the day. He'll apologize fast. He always does, always. I don't remember a time in our marriage that I have apologized fast. unless I have really asked him and I know, hapa nime mess up. You know, I don't, it's not easy for me to be wrong. I don't like being wrong. It makes me feel bad to be wrong. I don't like being wrong. And I think he's realized that, and he's always saying sorry. Even for the things I've done, I say, I'm sorry. So that we can just have peace. Yeah. That's something I really like.
But we can always have problems. I can even apologize, but she never, you're just saying sorry so that we can finish this story, right?
Yeah, because I'm so used to the stories. Like, the stories have become too many. Every day, sorry. So at a point you start thinking that, hey, this person is just saying sorry for the sake of it, you know?
She could be pushy, she could be very challenging, she could push you to your limits. She can make you angry anytime. But I think it's the grace that it keeps me going. I truly love her with all my heart. I think it's what motivates me to just to tolerate her in whatever that she brings on to me. I can tolerate her. It's just grace. I can only say that it's only grace. What I will say that really annoys me about her is that she forgets quickly. She can forget things very quickly. You can have these, you can plan on these, but tomorrow she doesn't remember if we and it really troubles me sometimes. We could agree on something, but it sometimes come and mess us together. And then after it has messed us, she's the one who will still come to me and say that, why didn't you do this? Why did it like? And it's something that we planned together. It really annoys me at some point, but the grace keeps me locked, and I just understand her. But I always pray that to improve that on her side of her life, because sometimes it could drive me nuts.
My husband is a pathological liar. My husband lies, I tell you. I can come from work and find hakuna spaghetti. I left spaghetti here. He's like, babe, did you eat spaghetti? No. Do we live with ghosts? Like, my husband can lie about anything. Nothing irritates me to the core. Just tell me the truth, you know. But he lies a lot.
I always lie to impress you sometimes. You should realize that.
One time,
it's never
I
about
found a dog at home. A very cute dog. Says, babe, you know, I've bought this dog for you as a token of my love for you. You know. So I'm so happy. I have fed the dog, washed the dog. 2 days, that day, guess who comes? The owner of the dog knocks our door. He says, nimekujia umbwa. Sasa mbwa gani? Mbwa gani unakujia mbwa yangu? Unakujia, you know. And we got into a lot of arguments. And then my husband was not home. So my husband comes home. I am so angry. I look at him and say, ulinidanganya wewe. So You see, such lies are not necessary. They don't help us. They are helping anybody. So please, babe.
I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. I'm sorry. I'm
So when he says he lies to impress me,
it's kind of lie, but I always try to put it in a funny way. But they like a prank, but it doesn't come out right. That's where the problem is. Because I'm also creative. I create a very profound story.
what kind of prank is that? Anyway, it's fun. Eventually we laugh about it. We laugh about this little lies.
Yeah, but
We laugh about it. Yeah, it's funny. It's nice drama, maybe.
The bad thing is that he's very smart. That's what worries me. You can't like keep up with the lies. Somehow it will catch up with me later on. That's where the problem is. I might try to be creative, try to create something, and I'm infatuation, a very good infatuation, but later on it will catch up with me.
I think communication is always our way out. We just talk. He allows me to vent because I vent and vent and vent. There's no end to it. But he allows me to talk and say all the nasty things I'm thinking. You know, I'm from, my mom was Meru, so I have that background. So I talk a lot. But imagine after I'm done, and we're okay, we are good. We are moving on swiftly until the next time he lies.
She's like a judge. It's like you
like a judge.
In my house, I feel like I'm in a court. You have been questioned and you have to answer everything. Oh my God, it's one of the bad times I always experience. For her, it's really hard to like. She'll ask something, she'll need an answer. She'll demand an answer.
If I can just say, when I was growing up, I always wanted to be a judge. I always did. So forgive me, but it has been a long time dream of mine. What I wished I knew was the financial aspect. See, when we were dating, I couldn't tell that he was really strapped for cash. So that came to me as a shock that, okay. So because when we were dating, he was really there for everything, you know. So I wish I knew about the financial aspect. And maybe looking back, we would have been wise about some financial decisions we made then, because I always thought that he was okay, but it's still fine.
I wish I knew that her ex, we could attend the same church. But I think that was one of my worst nightmares. And every day I'm still seeing her ex. It traumatizes me. But all the same, we thank God.
One year down the line, I'd say marriage is like a school. You're taught a new lesson every day. I thought maybe perhaps it would be bliss, roses, you know. But I have learned that there is always something new to learn every day, and I must be very willing to learn it. And with every challenge that comes, I have to shape myself and fit into that position and learn how to handle myself. Some of these challenges I have not been prepared to handle them. And that's what I would say that people didn't really tell me, that it's a learning institution. You have to keep learning, because if you come with a rigid mind, you're not going to get far. You have to be open to learn how this person wants that. Because this is a whole individual who's been raised differently. I don't know anything about him, so I have to keep learning. This is how he likes his things done. He doesn't like this. He responds to things in this way, which is something I didn't really think about, and people didn't really tell me. Yeah, people maybe said there are challenges in marriage, you know, but they just said that and then just stopped at that.
You realize that this is someone you're going to stay with like forever, and you're seeing this person every day. And as a man, our nature, the way we are, we kind of get bored at one thing if we are with one thing for a very long time. I came to realize that you have to understand the nature that you have to handle that situation. I think most marriages are getting rocky because of that familiarity.
Like you get so used to
get
someone.
used to someone that he or she gets attractive to you. For example, to keep our marriage more thrilling, I will let her know that this and this, it's, if you do this way, it won't be enticing as suppose if we do it the other way.
I'm looking forward to having a place where it doesn't really feel like it's prison, or I want a free space for both of us. I want us to be individuals who are one at the same time. I don't want to steal his individuality, and I wouldn't want him to steal mine. I want us to be able to coexist in harmony as we are. I don't want to change him, I don't want him to change me, as we are, but as one.
I'm creating a kingdom, and in this kingdom, I'm having a wife as my queen, and I would like my queen to bring the kingship in me so that I can have a dominion over our home. And my vision is either to expand, increase financially, increase spiritually, just have a home that is peaceful. Yeah, that's my vision.
Marriage is all about forgiveness. If you don't have forgiveness, you have nothing. If you keep piling things in your heart and you don't let them go, you're not going to get far. You have to forgive always. You have to learn to forgive. Let it go. Solve it, let it go. Don't carry it forward. We're in 2023, you have things from 95, from 2002. Let it go. It's okay, it happened, it was bad, but let it go. And that will help you, because you don't have anything you're piling on. It's not like a mountain. You're building up a mountain of issues. Every time there's an issue, it lies on a plane. There's nothing surrounding it. So it's easier to deal with an issue than a mountain of issues.
Marriage, you have to understand and have the ability to tolerate your partner. It's important. If you know you can't tolerate someone, then I wouldn't advise someone to get into a marriage. It's like a river. Rivers may start something small, and in between the river, before it becomes bigger, there is some waves, some corners, and everything. It gets rocky at some point, and you have to tolerate someone. You have to understand that in marriage, that people come with all their deficiencies. There might be problems, there might be diseases. You have to tolerate that person. You are willing to go with that someone, like to that next level, and you have to decide it with wholeheartedly.
We play cards. We play cards, and we usually tag something on it. So if I win, you're doing the dishes. If I win, you're doing that. That's what we do. And I think it's really fun. If I win, I'm getting a massage tonight. If he wins, he's getting something. You know, it's always like that. So I think that really is very interesting. And what else do we do? We watch movies together. He struggles with watching my kind of movies. So I let me just say, we watch his movies. He doesn't like my choices. And what else do we do? We have friends. We get together with friends. We have a group of friends who are married friends. We get together every other Sunday or Saturday or whatever comes. Yeah, we have a lot of that. So we go somewhere where we speak. We enjoy the conversation. We involve other people in our lives. You see, the problem with married people is like they like to keep to themselves. You don't want to to allow, because when we sit down and listen to our friends talking about their marriage, we even encourage, or we feel we are facing the same issues. When you talk to them, you realize, kumbe women we are the same, kumbe men we are the same.
And another thing, men should realize that it's never about being a man in marriage. Sometimes you have to be humble for marriage to work. People will say things, man, I have friends who will think otherwise about me, how I run my marriage. They will say that a man should never cook, man should never wash or do some house chores. She might come home tired. I work from home. I will just go to the kitchen and cook something for her, something nice for her. And life continues. It's never about masculinity, being a man. And I think it motivates her. It helps her to thrive and feel like she's loved. And sometimes it's never about me. That's what the concept of marriage that I have. It's not about me. It's not being a man in the house. You have to back so that things can happen in the house. No.
Looking into his eyes, I would like to tell him that I think he is the best gift that I ever received. I don't think there is anyone on the face of this earth who would have lived with me, been content with me, loved me as I am, in all my issues, known how to handle me, and you're the only one. This 1 year of marriage has been really great. It's been funny, it's been dramatic, it's been so many things, and I look forward to another year and another with you. I look forward to experiencing new things with you, and I'm so grateful that you chose me to be your wife, and you're still doing this marriage thing, still haven't quit on me, and I'm so happy about that, and I love you so much from the bottom of my heart. And that's our happy love story.
My name is Stacey Ouma. I am the founder and executive pastry artist at La Pâtisserie de Joie. It's actually a French name that means the bakery of joy. So I have been in the business for about 5 years, since 2018, but I've been baking since I was in university. Actually trained professionally in the US. I've been classically French trained, which actually inspired the name of my bakery. On top of that, I've actually gone and done a lot of research when it comes to weddings. So I actually purchased a structure called a cake safe. So the point of this cake safe is to ensure that once I set up the cake from my shop, it gets there in one piece. And that box has been designed specifically for weddings to ensure that the cake gets there perfectly safe. A good wedding cake is something that actually brings out the perfect vision of the couple. So not only the inside, but the outside. But most importantly, it needs to have, good flavor. It needs to be moist. It needs to, withstand all the tests that it will probably go through before the couple actually eats it. Usually what happens is the client would reach out to me. Once they've done that, we go back and forth when it comes to what they would like in terms of the design. So like for me personally, I specialize in artistic cakes, which are cream. So we discuss on the flavor, I advise on what flavor would actually work. Then once that's done, we have a cake tasting where now the couple can come and have a try of maybe 2 or 3 options that they would want. And then that's when they settle on a cake. Then once they settle on a cake, it takes about maybe a month or 2 just to agree on style changes, maybe supply is not availing 1 or 2 things. Then that's when now we settle on a cake and we wait for the big day. The main thing that actually enables a cake to withstand is the internal structure of the cake. You also need to consider the temperature. If let's say it's a day that is in December, For example, you find you have decided you're going to do a buttercream cake in December. Now, that for sure will let you know, those who bake know that it will melt by the time you get to the venue. So you have to ensure your cream is the right cream. You have to ensure you have a good internal structure of the cake that ensures that the cake does not end up collapsing. Then also where the cake is placed during the wedding. So you have to ensure that the cake is placed in a place that is not directly under the 12 p.m. sun, so that it actually ensures that it is not affected by the heat. In terms of flavor, we'd rather try and stick to flavors that don't have a lot of temperature, are not affected a lot by temperature. So for example, maybe a strawberry, passion, and mango. There's a cake I did, which is one of my unique flavors, which is the rosemary and lemon. So you stick with cakes that are not really affected by temperature. If you'd like, you can have them as supplementary, but in terms of the main structure of the cake, we would recommend those flavors when it comes to a wedding cake. La Patisserie de Joie, we specialize in artistic cakes. We specialize in actually painting on those cakes. So we hand paint each and every cake. So it's a custom design that you get for your cake. On top of that, we ensure that our flavors are top notch. You can definitely follow me on La Patisserie de Joie, and you can also follow a YouTube channel that I do with a fellow colleague in the industry called Ari by Tafari. We basically give advice on to brides and grooms alike, and bridesmaids and everybody who needs wedding advice, where to pick, a dress, where to order a cake, like more or less the things that we've discussed here, but more in detail. So you can follow us at the Bridal Pit Stop. So it's a very interesting channel that gives advice on everything. And as well, you can contact us at 0743 272 398, and we'll be more than happy to serve you.
I love coming home to relax after a long day of work, and my friends love coming to my house because I have great furniture, comfy, elegant, and never goes out of style.
I love this dining set because the table is unique, classy, the seats are so comfortable, and it accommodates all my friends when you have a meetup.
I love this bed. It's unique, durable, and the mattress is great, and I know it lasts us longer.